The Cincinnati Reds still have a big opportunity to win the first series of the season.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up? I'm Jeff. He's Steve. And today's Locked On Reds podcast is brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBTHE.show/lockedon and use the promo code LOCKEDON to get a free pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It's rated E for everyone, and stay tuned later in the episode for our MLB Top 100 highlight. Today, we are previewing the weekend, the opening weekend for the Cincinnati Reds, and we will begin with Saturday's matchup. Kids opening day, Sonny Gray versus Brady Singer. Steve, if I'm looking at these two games, I definitely want to say that the Reds are going to win them. The big thing that I have here is this matchup. Brady Singer and Sonny Gray is a clear advantage for Boston. I love Brady Singer. I do. But I know that Sonny Gray is a better pitcher than he is. And there was a key thing last season that Brady Singer had some times where he gave up 4 or more earned runs in his starts. He did that in 6 occasions, and the Reds were 1-5. This Red Sox lineup is such that if he starts to snowball, it's going to snowball fast, and he's got to avoid that in his very first start this season. I would love to say that he has a carbon copy of what we saw from him last year to start the year, where he went 7 innings of shutout baseball. I just don't know, though. I have a hard time betting on that.
I want to tell you that I think the Reds have a big chance to take the next 2 games in Cincinnati against these Red Sox. Now, I will give you that Sonny Gray has had a better career than Brady Singer, but I also come right back at you that the last 2 years, Brady Singer is the better pitcher. If you look at last year, Jeff, Brady Singer put up 3.1 in WAR for the Cincinnati Reds in his first year in town. Down in St. Louis, Sonny Gray was combating that with 1.4 in WAR for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I know the Cardinals were bad, so let's go back a year. Let's see what they did the year before. Well, Sonny Gray, 1.6 in WAR, Jeff, for the Cardinals the year before. Brady Singer, 2.9. So Brady Singer's been a 3 WAR pitcher 2 years in a row. Sonny Gray has been a 1.5 pitcher in WAR the last 2 years in a row. I think that Sonny Gray's career is tailing off. He's not the pitcher that he once was. And I think the Reds have every opportunity to get at him at Great American Ballpark on Saturday and get that win. They get that win, they're cooking with gas, because I really like the matchup coming on Sunday. So I think the Reds can win this series, Jeff, and I think Brady Singer is going to be able to get it done. His projections are a little wonky. If you look at his baseball reference projections for 2026, they think he's going to be about the same guy, a little bit higher in ERA, little differences in what his numbers look like overall, but basically the same guy. That equates, as we can look at the stats and see, about a 3 WAR pitcher. I like Brady Singer. I think he's going to be able to get it done for these Reds. And I think after losing on opening day and really battling with Garrett Crochet, I think these hitters are going to be ready to kind of get out there and feast a little bit. Guys that were pressing like Eugenio Suarez, and I really truly believe he was pressing. I think those guys are going to get out there and get things done in game 2 when the bright lights aren't quite as bright, if you know what I'm saying.
That makes sense. And you're probably talking about and I don't think it's going to be a vast difference in attendance, but lesser crowd for the kids opening day on Saturday. Well, I keep saying Saturday night. It's at 4:10 p.m. on Saturday. So Saturday late evening or late afternoon, whatever that equates to. But I think that you're right, because I also saw some interesting deviations on opening day from what Chris Valleca taught them every single day last year. And I thought it was funny because whenever they announced Chris Valleca, whenever they're announcing the coaching staff and the roster and all that stuff before the national anthem, there were some folks in my area that booed the guy. I don't get that. Anyway, his whole mantra is patient hitting, make the pitcher work. They never did that. And now Garrett Crochet's really stinking good at pitching, but like Reds hitters were getting up there, and if that ball was near the strike zone, they were swinging, buddy, and they were making contact, and they were getting out rather quickly. I wonder if we see that change and we see some guys really make Sonny Gray work, because that is also going to be a key for the weekend for me, is can they get into the bullpen early on Saturday? Because as we'll talk about here in a few minutes on Sunday, they've got a rookie pitcher that they can deal with and really put pressure on that Boston pitching staff if they're getting into the bullpen like the 5th inning here on Saturday.
Yeah, I think adrenaline played a big part with these hitters on opening day and what it was that they were doing. And in Gino's case, I really think he wanted, we talked about this on yesterday's show, Jeff, that I really feel like he was trying to give Cincinnati that moment, that I'm back to town moment. Exactly. I think Gino was really pushing, trying to get that done, especially in that bases loaded situation. If you watch that at bat, that was not a real crisp at bat from Eugenio Suarez. And I see you guys, listen, I saw you guys on Twitter X first thing this morning when I woke up, Gino's on pace for 600 strikeouts. Yeah, I know. I don't care. He's going to hit the ball and he's going to hit it far. It's going to happen. I'm looking very forward to Gino getting it going, but I think the lineup's going to be better on Saturday. There's going to be some more success. The Reds are going to score some runs, basically is what I'm saying, Jeff. And they're going to be able to, I think, get at Sonny Gray, make him throw a lot of pitches is key. You're right. They didn't do that against Garrett Crochet because I think everybody was chomping at the bit. Everybody had a little extra oomph in what they were trying to do. Saturday is going to be a different story. Guys have settled in. Everybody's in their Cincinnati living arrangements. Everybody's, in town. It's not travel. Everything's settled down. The dust is cleared. There's no parade. There's not 100,000 people crammed into downtown while these guys are trying to get to work. Everything's going to be normal on Saturday, with the exception of the red carpet walk. That's the only thing that they're going to do different that they don't do during a regular season ball game, which is they walk the red carpet in front of GABP and high five the kids and stuff.
When I remember, Chris Welsh and Jeff Brantley all kind of say a different version of the same thing. As much as the season begins on opening day, the season really begins for the players game 2, because you get rid of that random off day after one day. You really start getting into the routine of the season. We're going to start seeing these things kind of work themselves out. I'm expecting big things from this lineup as we continue to move forward, and we will hear some more information about Sal Stewart as we get closer to the second game. There hasn't been any updates from that situation after the first game. Guessing he's dealing with some soreness right now. That is like a given at this point. I think the odds are 100% at that. But we'll see if he is in the game 2 lineup. He's got a real good chance to impact this weekend hugely, especially with the pitching matchup on Sunday, because we're talking about 2 very inexperienced starting pitchers facing off, and that's really where I think the Reds have their biggest opportunity if they end up winning on Saturday to win this series. This week's MLB Top 100 highlight is brought to you by MLB The Show 26, the latest from the beloved video game franchise. Each week, we've been highlighting the stars of Locked On MLB's Top 100 list that we've put together this year, and the elite names that you'll be controlling in your franchise, your Diamond Dynasties, all the great stuff right here on MLB The Show 26. And today, we're spotlighting the opening day starter, Andrew Abbott. The fact that he's number 84 on the Locked On MLB Top 100 players list. Look, he's not really well known outside the city of Cincinnati, but I'm expecting big things from Andrew Abbott this season. He's going to be much higher on this list come next year. And you can play with him and all of your favorite Reds on MLB The Show 26. Get your copy today. It's out now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. It's rated for everyone. Baseball season is well underway, and as we lead into the rest of the 162, every single day, your destination for your next sports wager should be FanDuel.com, because FanDuel's got all the great props each and every day, talking about homers, stolen bases, RBIs, total bases, all of the great stuff, strikeouts for pitchers, obviously, as well, and how many outs a pitcher can get. So many great props. You've got your game lines, your run lines, your over-unders. Get in on all the action over on FanDuel right now, because as the Reds play each and every day, you can make money off of their game. It's all over at FanDuel.com. Check them out today. And also, as the tournament continues along, there's been a lot of great fun. Got the Cinderella in Iowa. So much stuff is going on right now, and you can take advantage of it. I love this time of year for all the sports, and FanDuel is the best place to take advantage of it. Go to FanDuel.com right now. FanDuel. play your game.
Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position that you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Sponsored Jobs. Indeed, Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location, so that you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your posts. And here is the stat that says it all. In the minute that I'm going to be talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of Locked On Reds will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support Locked On Reds by saying you heard about Indeed on this show. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Thanks for making Locked On Reds your first listen each and every day. I hope you're enjoying this bonus episode. Listen, if you have not clicked subscribe, if you have not clicked that notification bell, make sure you do it, because we're going to do this all year long. Extra shows, extra content, extra stuff, extra Cincinnati Reds all season long. Click those buttons. If you'd like an ad-free version of Locked On Reds, if you'd like to elevate your listening experience, well, over in the audio channels, we have the Everydayer Club. We've got you covered over there with ad-free Locked On Reds. The link for that is down in the show description, and there's a promo code that you can use for the next week. I believe it's still going to be good. Promo code is finally. Use that for a free month of the Everydayer Club. That also gets you the Discord server access with not just Jeff and I, but every single show has their own channel. All of the experts of Locked On talking ball all the time. Check that out today. All right, Jeff, I'm excited about Sunday's pitching matchup for a couple reasons. The Red Sox are throwing a rookie that I think this Cincinnati Reds lineup can feast on, and we get the return of Rhett Lowder, who we have not seen in a big league mound in over a year. He missed all of last season with injury, coming off of what was a promising cup of coffee in 2024. So I'm excited to see Rhett Lowder back out there. He's looked really, really comfortable in spring training. Not necessarily going to say, oh, his stuff was great out in Goodyear. He did pitch well, but more so he recovered well. He had no new aches and pains. Everything went the way that it was supposed to go, and he looks comfortable on the mound, and I'm excited to see him back out there.
Yeah, he looked really steady, I think, is the word that I've been trying to look for when I want to describe how he pitched in spring training. I wouldn't say that he was out there blowing anybody away. You don't want to be out there blowing anybody away during spring training, because that doesn't mean anything. As we saw with Andrew Abbott's start on opening day, where everybody was worried about him, you shouldn't have been. He pitched really well. I'm looking forward to seeing what Rhett Lowder's got, because he is another guy that his resume and how he is built as a pitcher is exactly my favorite type of pitcher. He's a thinking man's pitcher. I remember when I first met him up in Dayton after the Reds drafted him, and we were talking about the game of baseball, and he's like, from an early age, I never had the velocity that other kids had. So I had to pitch cerebrally. I had to strategically attack every hitter that I faced from high school on up. And I love that. I am so happy that that is how he developed as a pitcher from zero to the major leagues. And I think that he will be able to fall back on that in all situations, whether he's got Alex Bregman at the plate, which I just now forgot he's not a Red Sox, he's a Cub. Whether you've got Roman Anthony at the plate, or you've got, number 9 hitter, whoever that might be.
Yeah, if Alex Bregman faces Rhett Lowder on Sunday, I'm filing a protest. There's some problems there.
Some problems, but no, he's got the kind of stuff too, like with his breaking ball and the way that he is able to set up his breaking ball with his fastball. He is the kind of pitcher that's a lot of fun to watch, because every single pitch there is a strategy behind that. It's not just, here I go, let's see if he can hit it. It's like, no, I'm putting this in the right spot. You ain't gonna touch it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have some success. I think this is a great lineup for him to face as a reintroduction to Major League Baseball. There are some stars in it, but it's not one of those club you over the head, beat you to death kind of lineups. I wouldn't want him making his debut back against the Dodgers, is what I'm saying. I like that they're getting him out there early. They're getting him into the first series of the season against a Red Sox lineup that's going to make him work a little bit, let him tinker, let him figure out some things. But I expect success from him. A couple other notes on this weekend, Jeff. We didn't get to it there in the first segment, but I want to talk about it briefly now. We'll talk about it a lot on Monday's show, I'm sure. You briefly mentioned that we don't have any real update on Sal Stewart. I'm a little concerned about that, and I just kind of want to put that out there right now. Charlie Goldsmith was reporting that Terry Francona kind of gave a breakdown of how that whole thing went when Sal Stewart got hit by that line drive. And they basically asked Sal, you think it's broken? And Sal said, no, I don't think so. And so that was if that's the diagnostic tool we're using now to decide if people's arms are broken or not, I'm going to call that the CES method. You okay? Oh, you're okay. Okay, good. Let's go. And then we find out 3 months from now it was broken the whole time. No, I really hope that we hear between opening day and Saturday that they took some pictures of his wrist and made sure that there's nothing going on in there.
Would you say that you would be okay with him being sat on Saturday?
Yeah, I would. Especially if there's swelling. There has to be swelling. That wrist has to be puffy for sure on Friday. If there's still any swelling at all on Saturday, sit him down another day. Rest that thing, put some ice on it, give him some anti-inflammatories, and reevaluate again on Sunday. And if there's still swelling on Saturday, they better have imaged that wrist just to make sure. I just want to hear that they took pictures, and I want to hear more than what we asked him if it was okay. No. That is not how we need to be doing things.
This is never going to be a player that says, no, I'm not okay. Please don't play me. Like the team needs to step in. And as we said a lot on this show, they need to protect the player from themselves.
Yep.
And I think I agree. And there also is the added element of you can play Nate Lowe against a right-handed pitcher in Sonny Gray on Saturday. Yes. So Nate Lowe could play first base. You don't lose a whole lot there. I mean, he's got less power than Sal Stewart has, but I think this is more valuable to making sure that Sal Stewart is right because it's the beginning of the season. And if you risk re-injury, we don't want to lose him for a long period. So set him for one day and let's keep it.
And to your point, they can also move Spencer Steer back into first base and play Will Benson in left field because it's a right-handed pitcher. Either option works. The Reds have options. So if Sal Stewart is not 100, this is game 2. If Sal Stewart is not 100%, sit him down for a day and let's just be careful. I would rather him miss game 2 than to miss games 3 through 15. You know what I mean, Jeff?
Yes. No, 100%. And for me, too, another guy that I'm looking at in this game is TJ Friedl because I feel like he got exposed a little bit. There's some folks online that are talking about, how he played in the opening day game and, his fielding. He missed that play where it looked like he would have really had to stretch out for it, lay out and dive, or he was just a little bit behind that. And some folks were kind of giving him crap for that. But I think that ultimately this is kind of a day where he can just be like, letting that all pass. It's a right-hander. Don't get up on Sonny Gray, going to hit a couple of bombs or, just get on base a whole bunch. Like Terry Francona said, get on base 2 times a game. I think we start to see that version of TJ Friedl because everybody loves overreact to opening day. Like everybody was saying, like, Emmanuel Suarez is going to strike out a million times. And obviously no one else in this lineup is going to get any hits besides Sal Stewart and Ellie De La Cruz. Oh, that's fine.
Terry Francona had the best quote about Friday in Cincinnati after opening day. Yeah. If the Reds win on opening day, the entirety of the tri-state is convinced they're going to the World Series. Get ready to book your tickets. And if they lose on opening day, well, God, they're terrible. See, we knew all along they're horrible. They're no good. And I don't follow other cities enough to know how their fan bases react to opening day like that. I'm locked in on the Cincinnati Reds, but I will tell you that is a very Cincinnati thing. Like it is the same with the Bengals. It's the same with the Reds. It's the same with the Bearcats. Whatever happens the first game of the season, everybody loses their minds. It's a marathon, folks. Let's just take a breath.
And the funny part is if they win Saturday and they win Sunday, nobody's going to be that worried about what happened in game 1 of 162.
Got to win
that's
series,
what the Reds have in front of them. Win that series.
Just win series.
They've got an opportunity.
And that, I think, Jeff, is a good spot to go ahead and wrap up this bonus edition of Locked On Reds. Thanks, everybody, for making Locked On Reds your first listen each and every day. Once again, please click those subscribe and notification bell buttons because we're coming your way all season long. We're going to keep gathering up the news, the notes, the rumors, the reports, the information. We're going to keep bringing it all right back here now that you've listened to us on this bonus edition of Locked On Reds. If you haven't had a chance to check out the Locked On MLB feed, get in there because there's so much of Major League Baseball from a national perspective cooking in there. Sully's got you covered, all of Major League Baseball, national perspective. Former Reds reliever Mike Stanton has you covered, all of Major League Baseball, players' perspective. And then, of course, the good folks over at Locked On MLB Game Night watch every single game, every single night because you don't have the time for that. They'll tell you what happened. They'll tell you what you missed. They'll keep you all caught up. All of that in the Locked On MLB feed. For the folks watching here on YouTube, we're sending you over to Locked On's first ever 24/7 national YouTube channel where all of the experts of the Locked On network are talking ball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Jeff and I will be back in your feed Monday or sooner if something cool happens. So subscribe. We're going to keep gathering up a lot of information to keep you Locked On Reds every single day.
Hey, Steve, you want to know why the Reds hitters got to be on time on Sunday?
Why is that?
Because they're facing a pitcher who's early.
Oh, boy. You're going to make a great dad. You're going to make a great dad one day, Jeff Carr.